Hello, hi, and welcome back to the Nena Redu experience. I'm doing this one after ages. After the 24th episode, I just kind of quit. Um, One main reason was, of course, because I wasn't getting too many questions. Hello, ask me. And the other reason was that I kind of wanted to bring focus back to my blog, and YouTube videos aren't the best way to do that because that means that to see the video, people will come to your YouTube channel. I do blog the video first, and obviously I upload it on YouTube to link it to my WordPress blog. But I just kind of lost interest. Now I am planning to bring it back mainly because I am trying to create an editorial calendar for my nena.co blog. So as part of that, I currently only have two regular things that I do on that, which is the what the fuck Nena posts I do every Monday, which basically discuss professionalism, things in our industry that could be better, etc., which has become quite popular, which is not something that I ever expected. That publishes every Monday in the morning at 8:15, and so that's I have 4 stories in a month, which are just that. Apart from that, the only other regular column I have is the Fragrance of the Month series, which happens once a month. So basically, out of 30 days, I have 5 days. And I need to increase that, not just because I want to bring more traffic and engagement to the blog, but because I want to do this properly. I want to have something that is regular on my blog, which is me. And these videos are me. This is who I am. This is how I talk. These are the things that bother me. So today I wanted to talk about, recently there was this discussion about, or a lot of clients or even agencies ask this from bloggers, that if you blog, how many products will we sell? And this is usually coming from brands that have their own retail stores or e-commerce online stores. And it's getting asked more and more. I would have thought that it would be asked less as, clients got more experience working with bloggers. But this question keeps coming up again and again, that if you do a blog post with, for example, 10 photos, how many sales can we expect? Can you give us some form of, ROI if we pay you this much, etc., etc. And I just want to tell you that that's not how it works. It's not, blogging isn't that if you show up a product and it'll get sold. It's not going to happen like that. It's just like a magazine ad, right? I mean, you don't expect to have any immediate sales per se. You might have in some cases, which also happens sometimes if you do a blog post, or if I tweet about a product, etc. So there might be one or two, depending on the kind of audience you have. If you have millions of followers, there might be 10 or 20. But for someone like me, there might be one or two, and it also depends on what kind of product it is. Like, I recently did the blog story about Google Pixel, and I know 3 people have reached out to me and told me that they bought the phone after they read my review or my experience with it, and they thought it was helpful. That's rare. Again, it's, things like bags and cheaper products probably get sold more compared to a device that costs more than 50,000 rupees. So it's not, but the blog post was, the photos were never about selling the phone. The photos were about my experience with the phone. What are the things that I loved about the phone? I am recording this video in the selfie video mode on the Google Pixel that I have. And it was about how much I love the camera, and I almost bought an iPhone 7 because most of the other Android cameras that I had experienced just were nowhere close to what the iPhone delivers. And then the Pixel happened, so I didn't have to buy the iPhone, which I was anyways reluctant about buying because I'm not a huge fan of Apple and their closed platform. So it was my experience, and of course I went and shot at the Westin in Gurgaon in their presidential suite, which was amazing. So the photos are nice. Akanksha shot them. Thank you, Akanksha. So it wasn't saying that, oh, go buy this phone. It was saying that, hey, this is a great phone and it would make a great Diwali gift if you are an Android fan. So if people found that helpful and went and bought the device, fantastic, which is like a fabulous added bonus. But the goal was never to say, अरे जाके फ़ोन खरीदो यार, ये देखो मैंने blog post करा है, client ने इतना अच्छा फ़ोन मुझे दिया है, go buy. That never works. I mean, people, the audience is smart. You guys are, I think, probably way smarter than I am. So you guys know who's hard selling, who's lying, who's not being authentic, etc. So the goal as a blogger, while it is to promote a product in a way, you're basically putting a product in front of your audience. So you're creating brand awareness. You're building a brand. You're identifying that, okay, these are the values that the brand stands for. Whether those are great visuals or, that this brand understands the quality of great visuals. So they work with someone like me. That's what you're doing when you work with a blogger. If there is a blogger whose values you identify with and you feel that they're a perfect fit for your brand, you work with them. It's like, you work with an artist who produces great images because you think that they will produce great images for your brand. You don't hire an artist because they will directly help you sell. Those great images might indirectly then help you sell your product. So it's about brand building. It's about creating this image, making the brand and its products more aspirational. So there are a lot of people who follow bloggers. I follow a bunch of bloggers, for example. And whenever I see them talking about some products which are like amazing, I'm like, oh my God, I totally want it. So the blogger has basically introduced that brand to me, which I had never heard of. Secondly, I'm like, they make the product covetable. I'm like, shit, I really want this bag. And even if the bag is, maybe it costs 1 lakh. I might not be able to afford it right away, but I planned for it. Like a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I was introduced to this bag brand called Mansoor Gavriel. And they make such amazing bags. But I couldn't right away afford the bag. But it's always there at the back of my mind that I want that bag. And I ended up following that bag's Instagram feed. And it was introduced to me by a blogger. I had no idea about the existence of that brand. So basically, as a blogger, you create that awareness. And if for example, I write about that brand 10 times, over the course of a year, I do one blog post, which is a personal style post. I do one blog post where I take detailed photos of the bag and I say, oh, you can see the details of the bag. It's been stitched well. The leather is good quality, etc., etc. And I do that 10 times over a year. Then my audience remembers that bag. Next time, when they actually want to buy a bag, they'll be like, wait, वो हमने एक bag देखा था, वो नैना के blog पे था, वो वाला देखते हैं कौन सा है. They might even come to my blog and search for it, or they just might remember the name because they've seen it so many times. The point is that because I like that brand, I agree with their work ethic, and I like the products that they make, and I am happy to endorse them. I mean, not really endorse them, but promote them. I'm kind of giving my seal of approval. And my audience trusts my credibility. They know I won't lie to them. So they know I'm not just promoting the brand because I'm getting paid for it. So there are so many things that need to work out for a brand to work with a blogger. If at the end of the day, the audience of the blogger then goes and buys the product, that is fabulous. That's an added bonus. But you can't enter into a working relationship with a blogger saying, अच्छा हम आपको एक blog post का इतना पैसा दे रहे हैं तो हमको sale कितना मिलेगा. ऐसे नहीं होता है. It's not the right way to look at your engagement with a blog or an influencer for that matter. So look at what your brand's goals are. What is the audience you're trying to reach? For example, a lot of influencers these days, I'm only talking about India, have a lot of followers on Instagram, like 100,000, 200,000 followers on Instagram. Do they have case studies of previously featuring a brand and how many units did they sell? What are the kind of metrics that a blogger or an influencer is using? A lot of these people who are influencers now on Instagram, for example, some of them don't even have a blog. So where is this industry going? It's the same when you've been following the traditional media industry that acha print is dying. It's not dying, it is evolving. It's becoming a different platform. Similarly, in the US, people have been saying that blogging is dying. Again, it's not dying. As far as I'm concerned, print and blogging are not going anywhere. Neither is photography. They're here. They're here for a reason. They fulfill a specific need. So you have to figure out that, for example, recently Vine on Twitter shut down. A lot of brands had invested a lot of money with a lot of Viners to create Vines, to post on that platform because these Viners had millions of followers. So now what? Did those viners also have a blog? Were they posting their wines on their blog also? Luckily, Vine allowed them to download all their content, etc. Again, I have been on Vine as well, but I just barely checked out what the platform was. I hardly ever did anything on it. But I would think even whatever I post, for example, on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it first comes to my blog. My blog is my main platform. It's the main place where I write about products or brands in detail. I write about my experiences in detail, and I have supporting photographs. And those photographs are then distributed onto Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. The ultimate goal is that if you see a photo on Instagram that you like, you would be curious to come to my blog and see the entire feature. That's the goal. I'm not saying it works 100%. Most people prefer to just stay on Instagram, like it, maybe give a comment, and that's it. Some of them who are genuinely interested, for example, in the product, will come to your blog, which is the correct audience for the blog, for example. What are you going to do if Instagram shuts down tomorrow? And this is not something that you should think of as an influencer or as a blogger. As a brand, you have to think of this in the long run. That it's fine to have something on Instagram as well, but your brand first needs to be strong. So if you are an influencer, I highly recommend that you please make a blog as well. You are anyways creating all that content, just post it on the blog. And it sells it better to a brand too, because that's your platform. It is going to stay. WordPress is the ideal place to do it. Recently, some food bloggers had signed up on this. I think this was I'm not sure what it was, but it was called Cucumber Town, and they shifted their entire blogs into that platform, and now that platform is shutting down. That is, can you imagine? That is horrible. I have been on WordPress forever, and again, ऐसे तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. Even WordPress can die, for example, one day. The internet can die one day. The planet will die one day. So yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. But a blog is your most concrete investment. As a brand, you should have your own blog, and then you work with other influencers who also have blogs and also have a decent following and established profiles on some of the main channels that are important for you. So Instagram might be more important to you than Twitter. And again, when someone says, oh, just post this tweet for us and we'll pay you 25,000 rupees or whatever, how many sales will we get? No, you won't get sales. You probably won't even get engagement, because there's no backstory there. Why is that influencer posting that tweet? What's the context? So with a blog builds context. It provides context to your brand with a real person. Like I'm not a celebrity. I'm not untouchable. I'm not unreachable. I'm not unapproachable. I'm a regular girl. Now, of course, I mean, I have a blog and I've made a brand, etc. But I'm still, I talk like this. I mean, I'm not being like, oh my God, my makeup and I don't step out in the sun. And I don't do that. I'm never going to do that, except when I'm trying to be funny. So it's a brand building exercise for a brand to work with a blogger. Eventually, yes, they will drive sales because people will believe in your brand. There is authenticity, credibility tied into your brand and your products. The more, if you have a good product and then you engage with a blogger and an influencer who believes in your brand and your product, that's the perfect fit. And finding that right blogger is where a lot of research needs to be done, which I think is still very, very lacking in the Indian market. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, blogging and sales and how they're not directly correlated, and it's not a good metric to look at from the get-go. Hopefully, I will be able to continue this every week now. And as always, the Naina Redhu Experience, God, I need to look for a better name, publishes on every Wednesday, 9:30 Indian Standard Time. And please ask any more questions that you have about blogging or photography or anything really. I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for watching. Bye.